Hi, are you interested in money? Because that's our topic for today. We're talking about expressions related to money. Now, I'm not talking about expressions that have the word money in them. Example, if I say, money makes the world go round. No, I'm not talking about expressions like that. I'm talking about verbs which are associated with different situations concerning money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 10 sentences, and in each sentence you're going to see a verb. And I will explain this verb to you, and then after I will show you those sentences again, but I'll remove the verb and we'll see if you can pick the correct verb for each sentence. Are you ready to try? Okay, ready? Sentence number 1. My hydro bills are really high. I have to fork out $175 every month. In this sentence, we have the expression to fork out, and that means to pay, but not in a happy way, to pay unwillingly. You're not happy that you're paying that bill of $175 a month. Sentence number 2. I can't go out with my friends this weekend. I'm trying to save up for my vacation. So here we have the expression to save up. And really it just means to save. You're putting money aside so that you will use it for a specific activity or maybe a purchase. Sentence number 3. You have to be careful with credit cards. You can run up huge debts very quickly. So here we have the expression to run up, and that means to accumulate or to build up a lot of debt. Sentence number 4. I'm usually very careful with my money, but I sometimes like to splurge on a nice meal in a high-end restaurant. Here we have the expression to splurge, and that means to spend a lot of money on something, which normally you don't do, to splurge on something. Sentence number 5. If you're not careful, many internet providers will try to rip you off. Remember, you can always try to negotiate your monthly payment or go elsewhere. Here we have the expression to rip someone off. In our sentence, it's to rip you off. To rip someone off is to cheat someone, to steal from someone. And sometimes big companies charge us too much for specific services. So they are ripping us off. Sentence number 6. A few years ago, the Canadian government had to bail out Bombardier when they were having financial difficulties. In this sentence, we have the expression to bail out. And to bail out is to help someone or a company financially. To bail out. Now, normally to bail out has to do with water. Say, for example, you're in a rowboat or a small boat and water starts to get in. You want to get the water out, so you take a small container, maybe a pail or a bucket, and you bail out the water. You take the water out of the boat so that it does not sink. So the same thing happens with companies sometimes. Governments will help them so that they do not declare bankruptcy. So they bail out companies. Sentence number 7. I try to put aside a bit of money every month for emergencies. To put aside is to save. It's not to spend money. You keep it for a specific reason. And in this sentence, it's for emergencies. It's nice to have some extra money in case there is an emergency. Sentence number 8. My niece doesn't like to spend money. She likes to squirrel it away in the bank instead. So here the expression is to squirrel something away. And we're talking about money here, to squirrel money away. And in the sentence, it was it, because we're talking about money. What does that mean? It means to put money aside, to save money. And we use the word squirrel because squirrel is a little animal that likes to collect nuts in the fall, and they hide the nuts so that they will have something to nourish themselves in the cold months. So to squirrel something away, to squirrel it away. Sentence number 9. You know, I have $10,000 in debt, and I don't know how I'm going to pay it off. Here in this sentence, we had to pay it off, meaning to pay the debt off. And what does that mean? That means to pay back the full amount of the debt, because then you will not have a debt. So if you want to pay something off, you pay back the full amount that you owe to that company or person. Sentence number 10. I don't like to send money through the mail. I prefer to make out a check and mail it, or do an e-transfer. Here we have the expression to make out. And in this situation, to make out means to complete a check, and you write the person's name, you fill in the date and the amount of money you're going to give that person or that company. So you make out a check. And now there are other meanings of to make out, but I'm not going to talk about them here. You can check if you want on the internet, and it has nothing to do with money. Okay, now let's go back to the very beginning of the activity, and I will show you these sentences again, but this time with blanks. The verbs are not in each sentence. So see if you can pick the correct verb. I'll give you a choice of 3 verbs for each sentence, and we'll see how you do. Now, if you'd like to pause your video player, you can, to give yourself extra time to do each sentence. Ready? Sentence number 1. Answer. My hydro bills are really high. I have to fork out $175 every month. Repeat. Sentence number 2. Answer. I can't go out with my friends this weekend. I'm trying to save up for my vacation. Repeat. Sentence number 3. Answer. You have to be careful with credit cards. You can run up huge debts very quickly. Repeat. Sentence number 4. Answer. I'm usually very careful with my money, but I sometimes like to splurge on a nice meal in a high-end restaurant. Repeat. Sentence number 5. Answer. If you're not very careful, many internet providers will try to rip you off. Remember, You can always try to negotiate your monthly payment or go elsewhere. Repeat. Sentence number 6. Answer. A few years ago, the Canadian government had to bail out Bombardier when they were having financial difficulties. Repeat. Sentence number 7. Answer. I try to put aside a bit of money each month for emergencies. Repeat. Sentence number 8. Answer. My niece doesn't like to spend any money. She likes to squirrel it away in the bank instead. Repeat. Sentence number 9. Answer. You know, I have $10,000 in debt and I don't know how I'm going to pay it off. Repeat. Sentence number 10. Answer. I don't like to send cash through the mail. I prefer to make out a check and mail it or do an e-transfer. Repeat. Well, that's our activity for today. And if I remind you that, remember we talked about expressions that have money in them, like money makes the world go round? Well, I recommend a site, an English site. It's called Accurate English, and the teacher's name is Lisa, and she is wonderful. I really recommend her site, and she has a video or two on expressions using money. And I think they're very well done. So I really recommend that you go to her site and look at these videos. So that's all for today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.